All right, that was a 1 minute timer, guys. So now, look, if you see the instructions, they now want us to check our solution because what something may not always work. So let's go ahead and get started on these first examples. So first I'm gonna draw the line on the equal sign. Now we got to look at the left side to see if we have to distribute or combine like terms. Here you'll see we have 8x minus 9x, which is just negative 1x. And then we go here to the right side, 12 minus 17. We have $12 and then we spend 17. So now we owe $5. So now remember, when we have a number next to a letter, they're being multiplied. So the opposite of multiplication is going to be division. We're going to divide both sides by -1. Here, the negatives cancel out and x is now positive. And two negatives make a positive, so x is 5 now. Now they want us to check, right? So let's go ahead and check our work underneath it. So then it's going to be 8 parentheses 5 minus 9 times parentheses equals 12 minus 17 question mark. We do not know if the 5 is going to give us a true or false. Well, the right side simplifies to -5. Over here, we get 40 minus 45, which is just -5 equals -5, which is true. So this is the correct solution. Now let's take a look at the second equation. So first things first, go ahead and draw a line down the equal sign. Now, nothing to simplify on the right side, so I'm just going to bring that down. Now, on the left side, what property do we call this class when we have a number in front of our parentheses like that? What property is that called? Starts with the letter D. Look in your notebooks, class. We went over last lecture.
Distributive.
Distributive. Thank you. Thank you. So draw your arrows to denote distribution. I have had some students set up a one-on-one appointment with me, and he was asking me why he was getting things wrong. When he distributed, he did not draw any arrows, and all he did was did 9x minus 5. So pretty much he forgot to distribute the 3 to the what? To the 5, right? So then I asked them, hey, why don't you draw your arrow so you know what you have to multiply? So 3 times 3x is 9x. 3 times minus 5 is minus 15. And now we have to solve for x class. Now, the beautiful thing about equations is we can do anything we want. We can move the x's to the left, numbers to the right. We can move x's to the right, numbers to the left. The thing is, you have to be confident and comfortable with the steps that we do. Now, there's some steps will take us longer to say get the solution, while some other steps could be quicker. It's all about you getting exposed to the different ways. So I'm going to go ahead and move the x's to the right. So I'm going to move 9x to the right side. So the opposite of positive 9x is negative 9x. So then I get negative 15 equals 10x minus 9x, which is just x. So then I get x equals negative 15, and I'm done. But now we have to check it, right? So we're going to plug it into the formula, the equation. So then we're going to get 3 parentheses 3 times negative 15 minus 5 equals 10 times negative 15. Question mark. Well, 10 times negative 15 is negative 150. So let's do the right side. So 3 times negative 15, that's negative 45. Negative 45 minus 5 is negative 50. So then we're going to get 3 times negative 50, which is just negative 150, which is true. So this is the correct solution. What questions do we have on the steps that I took on these equations? Are there any questions whatsoever? All right, if there's no questions, guys, let's move on. Go ahead and try these two practice problems out for yourself. This will be practice problem number 1, practice problem number 2. I'm gonna go ahead and give you guys about 3 minutes on these. Good luck. So big. Nice, nice, nice. Jacob got an answer for number 1. If anyone wants to say agree or disagree, or Jacob, if you checked them out, if you checked out the solution and then worked out, you can also say that you checked it to kind of give your solution more concrete evidence, like to your classmates and to myself. All right, does anyone need more time for these equations, guys? Anyone needs more time than the 3 minutes? I can add an extra minute or 2 if needed.
I do.
Would you like an extra 1 or 2 minutes?
2.
All right, starting now. Good luck. Nice, nice, nice. And we got an agree for number one. Anyone have any feedback for number two? Got 30 seconds left. Excellent, excellent. Excellent. Now, quick question, guys. Does anyone does anyone need me to explain the steps on these practice problems? Does everyone feel good about them? You want to let me talk to me. What's going on? How does everyone feel about them? Did everyone feel confident in the steps you needed to take to simplify to the solution? Did everyone feel good? Are y'all still kind of uneasy about solving? How do y'all? So and so? All right. All right. Last, before I move on, any questions, comments, or concerns on these practice problems, guys, before I move on? Well, these solutions are correct, class. So if you got y equals 4 and x equals, y equals 14 and x equals -4, then you're good to go. All right. Here is some more examples, guys. There's 2 examples. Draw a line in the middle. I'm gonna give you about 1 minute to set them up into your notebook. All right. Let's take a look at the first example to the left. I'm gonna call this one example A. This is B. So when we do A, draw the line on the equal sign, right? Can I combine 2x and 6, class? Are these like terms? Yes or no? No, right? So we have to manipulate this to get x alone. Now, the key ingredient we need to remember is we want to get down to x equals something. That's what we want to do. Now, before we can touch the 2x, these two are stuck together. They're being multiplied. So I have to move this -6 first. So the opposite of -6 is going to be +6. And to keep it equal, what we do to one side, we have to do to the other. So I'm going to bring down the 2x equals 18 plus 6 is 24. Now remember, we want to get x alone, and when there's a number in front of x, they're being multiplied. And the opposite of multiplication is going to be division. So I'm going to divide both sides by 2. And what we do to one side, we're going to do to the other. So then I get x equals 24 divided by 2 is 12. And we're done. Now remember, the thing about equations is that you could always check if they are the correct solution. So we can plug in 12 to x, so then we'll get 2 parentheses 12 minus 6 equals question mark 18. 2 times 12 is 24 minus 6 is 18 equals 18, which is true. So this is the correct solution. Now, B kind of goes from 0 to 100 now, right? It gets a little more complex than what we're used to. So let me go ahead and draw the line down the equal sign. Look at the left-hand side. Can I simplify 2 minus 6? Yes or no? And if it yes, what does it become to? What is 2 minus 6? They are both constants, so I will be able to combine them. So we have $2 and we spend 6. So we're gonna have -4. That's correct. Equals. Now we have to go ahead and distribute this -5 to the x and to the 4. Now class, and do I have to put the 5 with the -39? Yes or no? Why or why not? No, that is correct. We do not. What's the reasoning behind that? Because it's not inside the parentheses. Excellent, excellent job. So then it'll be -5 times x is -5x. -5 times 4 is -20. Bring down -39. Now, before we can start moving things around like we did in the orange, we have to simplify the right side. Do we have any like terms? We do. We have -20 minus 39. If you owe the bank 20 and you spend 39, you're gonna owe them a total of $59. Now, if you don't like having the X on the right side, which it doesn't matter, right, where it's at, it really does not matter. So we're gonna go ahead and move it here. So we have -5x minus 59 equals -4. Now we gotta ask ourselves, how do we get X alone? Let's make sure we stay focused, guys, on the example, because you are gonna work these out on your own afterwards. So now to get X alone, class, we have to do what step first? Do I divide by -5 first, or do I add 59, or do I add 4? What do y'all think will be the next step to get X by itself? We're gonna add it both to both sides. We're gonna add 59. That's correct. Excuse me. I'm gonna cancel out the 59. Then I'm gonna get -5x equals, well, -4 plus 59. You owe the bank 4, but you deposit 59. So now you have $55. Can anyone tell me how we get rid of the -5? Am I gonna add 5, divide -5, divide +5, multiply? Well, how do I get the X by itself now? What's the final step? I'm only asking you these questions because you need to have the confidence in how to solve these things. We're gonna divide, excellent. We're gonna divide by -5, whatever is in front of the X, right? Because we want X to be alone. So X equals 55 divided by -5 is -11. I'm not gonna check this one just because I don't have space on here. I'm gonna tell you right now, class, -11 is the solution. Now, what questions do we have on these examples before you work some out on your own? What questions do we have? All right, if there's no questions, guys, if you're still writing, make sure to take a picture of this slide or screenshot it, just because I am going to move on. All right, here is your practice problems, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and give you 4 minutes on these. 2 minutes on each. Good luck. Follow the same recipe from the last example we did. So we got Jacob got y equals 3. We got Noel and Chelsea agreeing with him. That's what's up, guys. That's what's up. That's what's up. Yes, y'all need more time for the second one class, or y'all are finishing up? All right. I'm gonna go ahead and give you guys about 2 more minutes to finish off the second one. All right. All right. I'm gonna go ahead. Oh, Noel got the second one. Excellent. Let's see if other people agreed. Oh, Jacob agreed with it. X equals -15. Now, let me ask you this, guys. As y'all solve these equations, were y'all able to solve them confidently based off of what we went over in the last examples? Or did it take you like hesitation? Did you hesitate on the steps, or explain your process? How did you feel during the process of solving these equations? Because they're getting more complicated, right? Than the way we used to see them in the other lectures. So tell me your feedback on how you solve these equations. Do you feel like you're where you want to be? Do you feel like you need to keep working on these things? Like, you can unmute yourself and share with me in the class, please. The reason I'm asking is I want to make sure that after these lectures, you're learning something that you're able to use for this class. Like, are you able to pick up the techniques? Are you understanding the process? You know what I mean? Like, how do y'all feel? Is my mic working? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, personally, like I can get the longer problems done. It just takes me more time. Like for like practice one, it was easier, but then for the second one, it takes me a longer time because I have to like check that I'm actually doing the steps right. But
Okay.
like the amount of confidence is there, except when it's test. When it's test, it's a different thing. I'm not a good test taker, so
Well, I would just
that's
want you to know, Adelaide, my tests are open notes and open review. So if you have your notebooks, you have your lecture notes, you have your review done, your homework assignments done, you should be golden. I can tell you right
ah,
now. Yes, so keep
thank
that
you.
in, just keep that in mind, okay? So you heard it here, folks. If you have, so my exams are open notes, open review, and open homework. So if you keep your notebooks organized the way I recommend in the beginning, and you have your lectures, your sections organized, your homeworks, everything done on the notebooks. I can tell you right now, the students who have done the homeworks and come to class and done the notes tend to get B's and higher on my exams. Now, if you can do my reviews, like if you understand the reviews for my test, you know what I'm asking you to do, you should be getting you it should be okay. Because the questions are similarly just different numbers. All right, let me go ahead and move on. Does anyone have any questions, comments, or concerns on these practice problems, guys? Am I safe to move on? Does anyone need help or explanation for any of them? All right, let's keep going. So remember the translating words into expressions? We're gonna go ahead and dabble back into that, guys. Can someone look up the chart that we wrote last time? Can someone tell me if this is the same one or if it's different? I know
This
there's
is the same chart.
okay, thank you, Nicholas. So you don't have to rewrite this again, you don't. If you want to write it again though to keep it in your notebook reference to this example, you can. It's no big deal. I'm gonna go ahead and give you guys about 3 minutes to set up this slide into your notebook because the example 9 is a lot of words. So I would write example 9 and then write A, B, C, D, E, and then write the sentence there. And after you write this out, go ahead and try it out. All right. Let's remember example 9. Write each phrase as an algebraic expression. Use X to represent a number. A number increased by -5. So a number is X. Increased by is addition, but it wants us to increase it by -5. So it'll be plus a -5. But remember, class, what did I say about plus a negative? What operation is it really doing? What's plus a negative? When we add a negative number, we're technically just what? Anyone remember? It's subtracting. Thank you. It's X minus 5. So that's A. B, the product of -7 and a number. So the product is multiplication, right? The product of, so it'll be -7 times a number X. Well, number times X is the same thing as -7X. These are the same thing. You don't have to put the dot, you don't have to put parentheses. We know a number next to letter is multiplication. C, a number less 20. A number less 20. So it's a number that's less 20. It lost 20. D, the quotient of -18 and a number. So the first thing is the top, the bottom, the second thing is the bottom. So that's the top, and then this is the bottom. E, a number subtracted from -2. This is a tricky one, right? And not saying a number minus -2. It's saying that we're subtracting from this. So it's going to be -2 minus x. Because we're subtracting a number from -2. Any questions on any of these examples, guys? Anyone like, how'd you get that, Pacheco? Any questions at all? Because you're about to do your own practice problem right now. All right, let's see how you guys do with your practice problem. I'm gonna go ahead and give you guys about 4 minutes on these. And don't forget to write the expression on in the chat. So make sure for A, you write whatever you got. Right, make sure you write the letter A first. And so it'll be like this: A, then answer whatever you have, B, and so on. You know what I mean? Right, each one. So good luck. Are there any questions, guys? No one's putting any answers yet. We have about a minute and a half left on these practice problems. Someone did direct me, send me B though. Someone sent me B. So B, I got -5 minus X. Let me know if anyone agrees with the B. All right. For A, we have Nick. Did you mean to put the x equals, sir? So now remember, these are just expressions, algebraic expressions. When you add the equal sign, Nick, what does it make it into? Is it still an expression when you have x equals? No, it becomes a what? Ooh, close. The item that I'm looking for, the word that it does, these have a solution. What do we solve? What do we call the things that we solve? Starts with the letter E. We've been messing with them all this lesson so far today. E, close. Remember, expression. An expression is what we're doing with here. There's no equal sign. It's an equation. Equation. Remember that, Nicholas? If there's an equal sign, it makes it an equation. There you go. So you don't need the x equals. A is just -3 plus x. Because remember, the key to this assignment, it wants us to write algebraic expressions, not equations, not so, and to use x for the word and number. So the sum for A, so A is correct and B is correct. Anyone want to tell me what they got for C? C, D, and E? You can unmute or type it in the chat. That was the timer, class.
3 times x.
3 times X. Good. Anyone want to share what they got for D? Someone told me for D, they got X minus 80. How do you feel about that? So C is correct.
Sir, it's 83.
83, right? So is it X minus 83? Read it again. A number subtracted from 83. 83 minus X. There you go. It's the vocabulary class. 83 minus X. That is correct. And the last one, guys, how would that fraction look like? So for E, I see X over -4 and I see 4 over X. So X over -4 and 4 over X. So remember the quotient of a number and -4. So we know this is a number and then -4. Which one goes on the top? Which one goes on the bottom? The first or the bottom? So let's talk about the number. That's first. So should that be top or bottom, class? The first thing after the quotient. So the quotient of this should be the top and this should be the bottom. So this one's the correct answer. All right. Let's go ahead and move on. Yep, it'll be X over, and don't forget the 4 is negative. Adelaide, you see how it's negative 4? All right, let's move on. All right, we have another expression now. We have more, but now they're getting a little bit more complicated now. I'm going to give you about 2 minutes to write these down and now get started on it. Once you finish them, you want to try them out on your own, you can. Just know it's like what we did in example 9. They're just a little bit more intense. All right, let's look at A. Twice a number. So remember, we know that twice a number, we know that's 2x. So there's 2 times a number we don't know, right? 2 times x. Increased by -9. Well, we know plus a negative doesn't exist. It's just minusing. So it's just 2x minus 9 for A. Now for B, 3 times the difference. So it'll be 3 times, so multiplication, right? And parentheses is multiplication. The difference of a number and 11. So a number and 11, there's a difference. So they want us to multiply that. So it'd be 3 times. So times is the parentheses, right? So times is this. The 3 is right here. And then the distance is the difference of this is right here. Remember the difference, guys. You have to read the words and then convert it to that. All right. All right, look at C. The quotient of 5 times a number and 17. So the quotient we know is a fraction, right? Remember the first thing they say after of is the top. This is the bottom. So we're dividing by 17 and top is 5 times a number. And we're done. What questions do we have on this example class? Any questions at all?
I have just one. So for number C, Since like, because I know on the homework there's one that's like, it starts off with a difference. We don't like put anything, right? It's just we solve like whatever's left.
Like it says like difference. What do you mean, sir?
Like I think the problem was the difference of a number and then -5 or something like that.
Ah, so if this is a difference of a number and -5, it'll be x minus -5. Remember, two
Okay.
negatives make it what?
Positive.
So it'll be x plus 5, okay?
Okay. Thank
So
you. That's my
always write
question.
it out the way they say it, but simplify it the same way I did A. Look at A. Now I was increased by -9, but do we really increase by negative numbers?
No.
No, right? So does that answer your question, Nicholas?
Yeah, that's the answer. Thank you.
Okay, all right, and here's the last practice set of this lesson, guys. I'm going to go ahead and give you guys 3 minutes on these, a minute on each one. Or I'll give you 4, a minute to write them down. Anyone want to share what they got for A so far? Or B or C? Nicholas got 5x minus 25 for A. Anyone want to share their thoughts for A? Do they agree with 5x minus 25? Did they get something different? And anyone want to share what they got for B and C? Agree. Excellent, excellent. So we got an agree for A. All right. Let's see for B for C. Someone said 39 over 2x. Anyone have a guess for B? I will probably say B is here the trickier ones, but nothing impossible. You just gotta read it, look at what we did in the example, and try to make sense of it. So x plus 3 for B. So the only thing that x plus 3 shows, class, is this part here. It shows the sum of a number and 3. What's missing? Times 2. Now, is it going to be just 2 times x or 2 parentheses x plus 3? Do we want twice the number, or is it twice the sum?
2 parentheses x plus 3.
There you go. There you go. Excellent job, guys. Excellent, excellent. These are all correct. What questions do we have so far, class? And we're done with 3.2. We're done. Now I do have a meeting at 12. So I'm gonna start the next lesson class just because I want to make sure we have class time to review next week. So we have 2 more sections to go over before we have 2 more lessons to go before the test 1. All right. So 3.3. I'm gonna go ahead and give you guys 2 minutes or 2.5 minutes to copy this slide down. I'll make it 3 minutes. As soon as every section we finish, guys, you should be focusing on the homework assignment that after we've done. So after today so far, you should be able to have done 1.7, 1.8, 2.5, 2.6, 3.1, and 3.2. Now, after this, you should hopefully be able to do 3.3 and so on. And test 1 will be over all the sections that we've done in class so far. So please stay on top of it, class. Stay on top of it. All right, take a look at this equation, guys. This one gets a little, now we're learning how to do when there's letters on both sides and numbers on both sides. So draw the line down the equal sign. Now, the thing you want to remind yourself, look at the definition. So linear equation is an equation with the highest exponent is 1. It's also called a first degree equation. This is on, the definition is on here because you'll probably see this definition on the 3.3 homework. So please, please, please make sure you write everything that I have written. Let's go ahead and look at example 1. Solve the equation, check your solution. So let's go ahead and solve, right? So we want letters on one side, so A's on one side, numbers on the other. So to move this positive A to the left side, I'm going to subtract it. What I do to one side, I'm going to do to the other. Notice how I kept A's with A's. So cancel the A's out here. 3A, take away 1A is 2A. Bring down the -6 and the 4. Now we have to move the numbers from the left side to the right. So to move a -6, I'm gonna have to add 6. What we do to one side, we do to the other. So then we get 2A equals 10. Now we want to get A by itself, right? So 2 times A. Well, the opposite of times 2 is dividing 2. So I'm going to divide by 2. So then I get A equals 5 as a solution. Now the example does want us to check our work, right? And checking is the other half of the battle. So that way you can see, am I right? On your homework, you can just plug it in into your homework. But when it comes to test time, test won't tell you if you're right or wrong. You'll just let you submit your answer. So make sure you know how to check your work. So check, plugging in the 5 for A. So it'll be 3 times 5 minus 6 equals 5 plus 4 question mark. And just to show you what I mean, I've plugged in the 5 to these parts for A. 3 times 5 is 15 minus 6 is 15 minus 6 is 9. 5 plus 4 is 9. That's true. So therefore, 5 is the correct solution. What questions do we have so far on how I solved this equation, guys? Any questions whatsoever? Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and move on. Here's your practice problem class. I'm gonna go ahead and give you guys 3 minutes on this one. That way you can solve and also check your work. All right, we have x equals -4 class. Does anyone agree or disagree with the -4 as the solution? That is correct. X equals -4 is correct, class. Are there any questions on the steps needed to take to solve for this equation, class? Are there any questions at all? Or for the checking part? All right, let's go ahead and move on. Here's example 2. Go ahead and give you guys a minute to set it up. Draw a line down the equal sign. All right, let's take a look at this example. Now, before I can manipulate things, before I can move things around, class, what's the one thing I want to do to each side first? Can anyone share by unmuting or typing in the chat? What are we going to do to each side first? CLT. What does CLT stand for?
Combine the like terms.
Exactly. So on the left-hand side here, we have 17 minus 7x plus 3. I can combine the 17 plus 3, which is just plus 20. Over here, you owe me 3 x's, but you spent 3 more, so now you owe me 6 x's plus 21. Now we got to get x's by themselves, right? So I'm going to use the addition property. So the opposite of -6x is plus 6x. What we do to one side, we do to the other. Cancels out. You owe me 7, but you give me 6, so you're still going to owe me 1. Bring down the plus 20 equals 21. Subtract both sides by 20 since we want to get x alone. So then we get -1x equals 1. Divide both sides by -1, so that way we can get the solution x equals -1. And we're done. Now I want us to check our work. So by plugging it into the original. So then it'll be 17 minus 7 parentheses -1 plus 3 equals question mark -3 times -1 plus 21 minus 3 times -1. Well, a -7 times two negatives make a positive, so it'll be 17 plus 7 plus 3 equals -3 times -1. It's a positive 3 plus 21 plus 3 because two negatives make a positive. Well, now let's add the left side. 17 plus 7 is 24 plus 3 is 27. And then 3 plus 21 plus 3 is also 27. So it's a true statement. So this is correct. All right. Now you can always use your calculator to help you check, class. Remember, you don't have to be a human calculator. You can use your tool. I'm gonna go ahead and give you guys 3 minutes on this equation here. Good luck. The practice problem. I already have a solution proposed, guys. Someone recommended that their solution was y equals -55. Can anyone confirm, agree, or disagree with this one? Ah, we have an agree. If you got -55 class, you are correct. Good job. Does anyone have any questions on the steps needed to take to solve this equation, guys? Any questions?
I'm still confused on like how like just solve it in general. Like I'm just still confused.
Like on the solving?
Yeah, like solving like just in general, like the whole thing.
Okay, well, let's talk about it, Nick. So remember, so the objective at the end of this equation is that at the end we want to get what? We want to get y equals whatever, right? A number, right? Right?
Mm-hmm.
You remember that's the
Yeah.
goal, right? So look at the left side. Before we can move things around, Nick, we have to combine any like terms. So are there any like terms on the left side? What can I
Uh,
combine in the left side? Any constant terms, any variable terms?
5y, -5y,
What can we combine this with? Is there any other
negative.
y's on the left side?
No,
No, right?
40
So,
and 5.
someone said it. What was it 40 and what? 5, right?
40
So
and 5.
40 and 5.
So why can we combine 40 and 5? Because they're both what?
Like
Two
terms.
They're
numbers.
both like terms and they're both numbers. You with me, Nick?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, on the right side, what like terms do we have? Thank you, Tim. What do we have? What like terms do we have on the right side?
-2y, -4.
There you go, -2y and -4y, right? So if you owe
Mhm.
me 2 y's, Nick, and you're like, Pacheco, I need 4 more y's, how many are you gonna owe me after I give you those 4?
6.
6, right? -6y. And then can I combine the -10 with anything else?
No,
No, so I bring it what?
down.
Are you with me, sir?
Yes.
So now remember end game. The end game we want is we want y equals, correct?
Mm-hmm.
So that means we want to move all the y's that we have, Nick, from one side. We have to move those y's to the other side. So which y's do you want to move? Do you want to move the 6 to the left or the 5 to the right? It doesn't matter if it's the y's on the left or the right. It does not matter. It's the same shit. So
We
where do
could
you want to put the y?
let's move the 5 to the right.
Let's move the 5 to the right. So Nick, remember, opposite, right? What's the opposite of -5y to move it over here?
Plus 5y
Plus 5y. When we do the one side, we have to do what?
to the other side.
There you go. You with me?
Mm-hmm.
All right. What happens to the 5s? The y's?
They cancel out.
Good. What do we bring down the left side, sir? What's still there?
45
45. So bring that down. What should be in the middle between both sides?
equal
Equal. Now let's simplify this. You owe me 6, but you're like, Pacheco, here, I have 5 on me. What's the result?
-y.
-1y or -y, right? It's the same thing. -10. So now that we have the y to the right side, Nick, then if we want the letter to the right, we have to move numbers from the right to the left. So what number do we have to move from the right to the left?
-10.
How do we move a -10, sir?
We add by 10.
We add by 10. And what we do to one side, we do to the other. So now what's 45 plus 10, sir?
55.
Good. Bring down equals -1y. So now is y by itself yet, sir?
No.
No. What's happening with -1 and y? What operation is there that we don't see?
Multiply.
And how do we undo multiplication, sir?
Divide.
Divide. What am I going to divide by?
1.
Just one?
1y.
Well, no.
-1.
-1, sir. Because remember, what's the objective, Nick?
All to get it by itself.
Yeah. So what's next to the y that needs to be moved?
-1.
There you go. And what we do to one side, we do to the,
Other side.
and then now the negatives cancel out. So now we just have y now. And then just do this to your calculator. 55 divided by -1 is just what?
Oh, I got my calculator.
I'll help you out. 55 divided by -1 is just -55.
Oh yeah, because this is okay.
Yeah, and we're done.
All right, I understand a bit more. Thank you.
No, no, and then Nick, my biggest recommendation, sir, if equations are your weakness right now, I recommend taking some time this week, with today and tomorrow, and then Friday is virtual to go to my math lab. And if you have computer at home on Friday, it's a virtual day for the tutors. Log on, dude, and be, hey, I was wondering if we can go over equations together. And you start the assignment and you just work through the equations, and if you don't get the right answer the first try, say, hey, I didn't get it right. Can you look at my work and tell me what you did wrong? And they'll tell you what mistakes you make, and they'll help you out. Okay, and then you have your tutor.
Okay.
You have James here. You can email, send him a message in the chat. Hey, what's your email again? So I can ask him for resources. He can give you the Zoom link for the tutoring. Like, we got you. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Example 3 class. Let's go ahead. I'm gonna go ahead and give you guys. Go ahead and give you a minute to set this up in your notebook before I work it out. Nice, Tim. Nice, nice, nice. Good job, sir. All right. So now let's go ahead and solve this equation, right? So remember end game. We want x equals. We want x by itself on one side, numbers on the other side. Before we can manipulate things around, but we had to go ahead and manipulate. So on the left side, we had to distribute the 7 to both sides, right? To right here. So 7 times x is 7x. 7 times minus 2 is negative 14. Bring down the 9x minus 6, right? Now we want to get x's by itself. Now it doesn't matter if you want x on the right side, x on the left side. It's going to give you the same result at the end of the day. So I'm going to go ahead and move the 9x to the left side. So subtracting 9x cancels out. 7 take away 9 is negative 2x minus 14 equal negative 6. I'm going to add 14 on both sides. So I get negative 2x equals positive 8. Divide both sides by negative 2. And then I get x is equal to negative 4. Now remember, guys, the checking part is the way to, as a technique that you should learn now to help you out in your other classes after mine. So it'll be 7 parentheses negative 4 minus 2 equals 9 times negative 4 minus 6. Question mark. It's 7 times negative 6, which is negative 36 minus 6. So I get negative 42 equals negative 42, which is true. So that is the correct solution, class. All right. Let's see how you guys do with practice problem. Now, before you start the practice, are there any questions on the steps that I took to solve this equation? Any questions at all? All right, let's keep going. Here is practice 6, guys, or the practice problem. Go ahead and give you guys 2 minutes to try it out. If y'all need more than the 2 minutes, I'd be happy to add more time. All right, class? We have two people saying 17, A equals 17. Excellent. Nick agrees. And I also agree, guys. So this is actually correct before the timer goes off. Are there any questions on this practice problem about the steps needed to take to solve this one, guys? Anything that you couldn't click on your own that you want further explanation in? Excuse me. All right, class, let's go and move on. Now, I went ahead and I got these steps written out for you for how to solve equations. I'm gonna go ahead and give you guys about 3 minutes to copy these down. Now, if you're confused about what steps to take, write these down into your notebook. This is a formula, an ingredient list, a recipe list of if you're solving an equation, these are what you need to do. Luckily, I gave you the addition property and multiplication property, so you know that you add or subtract. We know that we divide or multiply, and then at the end, you always check to see in the original equation. I'm not making you write this because I want you to be tortured. I'm doing this because it helps. It helped. This helped a lot of students last semester. They thanked me for these steps. So I hope it helps you the way it helped them last semester. All right. Does anyone need more time to write these steps down, class? Would anyone like an additional minute or two?
I need just like another minute.
All right. I'm gonna go ahead and add 2 more minutes just because I had people in the chat tell me. So 2 minutes, class. All right, guys, if you're still not done, go ahead and take a picture or a screenshot of these steps. Now remember, they will be in the video as well on YouTube. Good, good, good. Anyone else need to take a pic before I move on? All right, I'm moving on. Here is example 4 class. Go ahead and give you a minute to copy this down. All right, class, so let's go ahead and get started. So remember, follow the steps. I'm gonna go ahead and draw the line down the equal sign. I'm gonna distribute the 3 to the inside of the parentheses. 3 times 2x is 6x. 3 times -6 is -18. Plus 6 equals 0. Combine the like terms, the -18 plus 6 is -12. Now I'm gonna add both sides 12. Get rid of that to get 6x, right? Remember, the end game is to get x alone. Divide both sides by 6, and then we get x equals 2. Check your solution. So check, plug it into the original. So that'll be 3 parentheses 2 times 2 minus 6 plus 6 equals 0 question mark. 2 times 2 is 4, so it'll be 4 minus 6 plus 6 equals 0. 4 minus 6 is -2 plus 6 equals 0. -6 plus 6 equals 0, which is 0 equals 0 is true, which this is the correct solution. Any questions so far, class, on the steps that we took to solve and to check? What questions do we have? All right. We're almost done, guys. We're almost done. I know your hand is probably, hurting, but we got to get it comfortable with writing, right? We're back in school. We're back in the semester. Got to get used to it. Got to push through. Now here is a practice problem, class. I'm going to give you 2 minutes on. Good luck. Excellent, Tim. We already have someone with the solution. They got x equals 0. Do y'all agree or disagree? Jacob got the same thing too. Good job, good job. I like to put my zeros with a line through it because my zeros look like O's. So that's just a mathematician thing. If you want to start doing that, you don't have to, but it depends how your zeros. If your zeros look like zeros, great. I'm a bad writer, so I just draw the line through it. Anyone have any questions on this practice problem class? Anyone have any questions at all? All right. Let's go ahead and move on. Are there any questions on this practice problem, guys? Anyone need me to work it out or talk about or answer the questions about anything? Any steps or anyone confused on any steps?
Could we work this one out?
Yes, we can. So let me go ahead and move this on here. So let's go ahead and go over the first one, right? So the first thing we want to do when we have an equation is step one. If there's parentheses, distribute. We do have the parentheses. So 4 times x is 4x. 4 times 3 is 12. Bring down the plus 1, right? Combine like terms is next, right? 4x plus 13 equals 13. Now we have to get x alone, right? So the opposite of plus 13 is minus. We have to do addition property first before multiplication. So then we get 4x equals 0. 4 and x are being multiplied, so divide both sides by 4. 0 divided by 4 is just 0. Now, if you check it, 0 plus 3 is 3. 3 times 4 is 12, plus 1 is 13. So it works out. Did that make sense, Yesenia, on the steps that we took?
Yeah, thank you.
No, anytime. All right, guys, let's finish off. So last example of today's lesson, guys, the last example, I'm gonna go ahead and give you guys 3 minutes to copy this down, 3 minutes to copy the chart and the example. Actually, I'll give y'all 5 minutes because it's a big chart. I'm gonna go ahead and get another water bottle. I'll be back. All right. So now we learn how to write sentences into expressions. Now we're gonna learn how to do the same concept, but now it's gonna have to do with equations, guys. Equations. You still have 2.5 minutes before I get started on example 5. But yeah, just look at you can see how it looks like. So the keyword here, so we can see the equals, right? Equals equals gives is yields amounts to. You start to see that English words are actually a way to express mathematics, right? I'm not an English person, right? I'm a math person, but this part of the lesson highlights the importance of the English language vocabulary because it helps us put math into words. After you write the chart and you write the example, try to see if the example you can get started. See if you can try it on your own, right? So before I write class, for example, 5, I have less than a minute left before I start. Can y'all tell me the equal sign keyword or phrases for the example? Like in A, the product of 7 and 6 is 42. Which one is the equals? Where is the equals at? What word for A? And the keywords are right here. You see it? So for A, we have the product of 7 and 6 is 42. The keyword for that is right here is. For B is equal to, and for C is yields. So let's write, so I'm gonna write the equal sign, right? So the product of 7 and 6, product is 7 times 6 is 42. We're done with A. B, twice the sum, so it's twice the sum, right? We're gonna multiply double the sum of 3 and 5, right? Is equal to 16. The quotient of negative 45 and 5 yields negative 9. And we're done with the example 5. Would anyone like additional time to finish copying this slide? If so, how many minutes would be good to help you finish? Is everyone okay then? I'm gonna move on. You took a break. Okay, awesome, Jacob. Thank you for that. Last call, guys. Anyone need to take a picture or screenshot this before I move on? All right. Here is the last practice problems class. So here's A, B, and C. I'm gonna give you guys about 3 minutes or 4 minutes on this one. A and C are pretty easy. It's B that's the trickier one, but reread it and break it down, class. As you guys are doing, I'm gonna go ahead and do roll call. Can you guys still see the notes? Because I opened up Canvas right now on my computer. Can you still see the notes just fine, or do y'all see Canvas blocking the lecture?
Yeah, we get some notes.
Okay, thank you. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and pull up attendance class. Make sure, let me know you're here. Or type it in the chat. Oh, I'm an idiot. I just exited out of Canvas. So I gotta log in. All right. Montana. Is Montana here?
Yes, sir.
Excellent. Pedro. Excellent. Timothy.
Here.
Thank you. Kaya.
Here.
Thank you. Nick.
I'm here.
Excellent. Yesenia.
Here.
Chelsea.
Here.
Gabby. Oh, she left. Damien. Damien, you hear? You typed in, so you're good.
Yes.
Okay, good. Noel. Good. Genevieve. Good. Genesis.
Here.
Good. Jacob. Good. And Adelaide.
Here.
Good, good, good. All right. Excellent class. Now let's talk about this practice problem. Anyone want to share what they got for A?
110 times 80 equals 30.
So you said 110, right? Say it again. 110
Times 80 equals 30.
equals 30. Now everything's right except the operation, Nick. Uh, does that seem right to you mathematically? Does 110 times 80 will give us 30?
No, it's minus.
Minus, good one, good catch, sir. And the key word for minus is what word? Did I highlight?
Difference.
Yes, sir. Okay. All right. Anyone want to take a stab at C or B? Remember, these are practice problem, guys, so I'm not gonna work these out. Y'all have to give me the answers. So what do y'all think B and C is? Whoever wants to give it a try. B is C. C is 24 divided by, yep, 24 divided by -6 equals -4. That's correct. A and C are correct. Someone should take a stab at B, guys. Somebody, the product of 3 and the sum of -9 and 11 amounts to 6. Excuse me. So we know product is multiplication, right? So it'll be the product of 3 and the sum of -9 and 11 amounts to 6. Go ahead and box this one because this is the one that you guys for once did not give me an answer to. So you guys need to make sure you write down the practice problem for B and give it a shot. So the product, it's what made me write this parentheses, right? Because it's a multiplication. And then it wants us to do the product of 3, right? So that's where I got the 3 from right here. And then I got and the sum of -9, 11. So this is and the sum of -9 and 11 amounts to, we know amounts to is equal to, and then to 6. And then I got the 6 over here. Does everyone see how I highlighted the differences of what component makes what for from English to math? Does everyone see it now? The breakdown for B? Does the breakdown make sense?
Yes.
Thank you. All right. All right, guys, I'm gonna go ahead and stop recording.